Boulder, Colorado and State College, Pennsylvania are both college towns and both have lots of meteorologists. State College has Penn State and organizations such as the National Weather Service and AccuWeather, while Boulder has the National Center for Atmospheric Research and other NOAA labs. Those of us here really felt for our colleagues in Boulder last week, as historic flooding literally brought that town to a standstill, even forcing the University of Colorado to close for 2 days, with a quarter of campus buildings sustaining water damage. Here's total rainfall from Tuesday to Saturday of last week in Colorado. Red indicates 6 inches or more. The few speckles of pink and purple mean at least a foot, and there's been another couple inches since then. Flooding was reported from west of Fort Collins all the way south to Colorado Springs, but the Boulder area was the epicenter for the heaviest rain. Here's 7-day totals ending on Sunday in and around the city. Certainly eye-popping numbers, though for comparison's sake, amounts like this are not unheard of in Pennsylvania. Remember, just 2 years ago, parts of the state got more than 14 inches from Tropical Storm Lee. But Boulder is in the interior of North America and thus has a climate that's very different than ours. Their average yearly precipitation is just over 20 inches, about half that of most places in Pennsylvania, and their wettest year on record saw just about 29.5 inches of liquid. The official total in Boulder through Monday was 17.15 inches, meaning they got more than 80% of their average annual liquid and almost 60% of their record yearly liquid in only 1 week. And this is now their wettest year on record. Now, those kinds of statistics just don't happen here in Pennsylvania. And here's some other context. Boulder's average September rain is less than 2 inches. The previous wettest September was 5.5 inches, and the previous wettest month on record wasn't even 10 inches. So records weren't just broken there last week, they were obliterated. Boulder actually has a long history of flooding, on average about 1 serious flood per decade, and is Colorado's most at-risk city for potential flood damage because it sits at the mouth of a canyon from which a creek flows through the heart of the city. The meteorology behind this extreme event involved a broad upper-level low that parked over the interior west last week, held in place by anomalous ridges of high pressure to the north and east. This persistent pattern featured diverging or spreading jet stream winds over Colorado that favored upward motion and helped to pull in high and mid-level tropical moisture from the Pacific and Gulf, while a moist, low-level southeasterly flow upsloped into the Front Range. Weather balloons launched in Denver last Thursday and Friday measured the 3 highest total moisture contents on record in September, going all the way back to 1948. Ironically, much of Colorado was in a moderate to extreme drought as of just a week ago, and conditions in New Mexico were even worse. But even there, Albuquerque has now had its rainiest September on record. So at least from a long-term standpoint, there's a small silver lining to this recent spate of historic rain. Paul Knight is back next with the extended forecast.